I glazed over so many of my spells. I was like, these don't exist to me.
All right, so
Hey, you have a spell book? Want to see a card trick?
I like to think that's the last line before people disappear into the door. All right. So after the Tower of Infinity disappears, life was the same for many people. But the people who did particularly well, who played through this, were actually changed in quite a way. For Sandra Riverstone, that meant returning to her homeworld, to getting back to the dimension that she came from in the first place. For Mountain Crag Purehammer, he mostly went around. Thorgus Purehammer. He mostly went about his life as it was, and was just living a little bit richer with his new friends and his new experiences, the memories, and the knowledge that somewhere out there more good was done. For Crooks, he finds that he might not notice right away, but things just start going a little better for his people. It seems like a little bit at first, where it's just like, oh hey, people are getting some lucky hits, or the crops are doing a little bit better. But you notice that little by little, in subtle or not so subtle ways, you're pretty sure that your deity might not be slumbering so much. For Captain J-Rock, he became a treasurer of a trading company and bank. It wasn't exactly what he was looking for, but he mostly got on a technicality due to his greed. For Jerry S. Duty, no one ever noticed any change for his wish. And in fact, he wasn't even sure if it had actually gone into effect. But from an outside perspective, everyone was just that much fancier. For Jebediah Arcana, he stumbled upon a bus broken down in the desert. As a symbol of faith, he fixed it up and got it ready to roll. As he was going through this, he realized that other people following this credo were also following along and had built it up alongside him. And once he had it going and rolling along, he realized that the Promised Land was wherever he and his friends went. And that was the real teachings of Jesus. For the Acolyte of the Lizard Wizard, he really started to get into the arcane magics, and because of the nature of his name, he started getting misconstrued with his own progenitor, and he became the next Lizard Wizard. And when people were talking about Lizard Wizard, it was always sort of masked in mystery as to exactly which one they were talking about. Because in a historical sense, can you really tell? For Windred Ferrysmith, he was able to gain the favor of this Lizard Wizard through direct contact with him, although he did not realize it at the time. He had spoken with them, and they had given him their favor, and even though it was just little things here and there, he was able to live happily and find peace. For Brother Bear, he stopped turning back into a halfling one day. No one's really sure why. Maybe he was just cured of his reverse lycanthropy. For Macho Man Randy Savage, he got that last match. He noticed one day that he thought that he earned it, and he was pretty sure that he had, and that was the best part about the wish, that he never knew whether it was definitely that or whether he just completely subverted it and got it done himself. He went in this match, got to WrestleMania, and crushed Hulk Hogan in a high-flying, flaming ladder match.
Fake news.
Cross Kringle was able to go on as Santa Claus for a couple of decades, and children were pretty well off. He did his best to do his job without like getting too close to the weird gremlin babies that he has such a fear of, and then just decided that he was done with it, and enough gold just happened to appear in his deposit that he was able to hire a necromancer to resurrect Tim Allen and force him to take the suit back. For Ivion Bliss, as soon as she returned to her hometown, she noticed that her dead mentor, who was killed by Count Evildoom, had just magically sprung back to life. This was the simplest of the wishes, but perhaps the most impactful for the person, at least directly. For the character's name isn't listed here. So Fifi, I think it's Fifi was the name.
Yes.
They wished for all animals to love them, so they became a park ranger that had a infinite bag of seed that would pretty much turn to whatever food it is that animals wanted.
Huh.
It wasn't as like intrinsic as she was hoping, but hey, that's just how these things play out sometimes. And Seacox the Mendacious really just wanted to be the best at famous. And to be honest, once you've gone through 3 missions of this scale, saved the world twice, and made it to the top of the Tower of Infinity, people don't just forget something like that. He realized that the process was more of the wish, was more of what got him there than the wish itself, which totally made him feel gypped out of it. But whatever, he doesn't need a wish. He's the best anyway. The architect went on to rebuild and reclaim and hired some new keepers to replace the ones that either didn't do as well or wanted to retire or were forced to retire.
Because their head exploded?
Yeah, that is one of them. Yeah. And so, yeah, everyone got their wish in one way or the other. And in 300 years later, the whole thing runs it back again. The end.
Oh, fun. Great job, everyone.
Thank you. All right, so
Way to go.
that is all the in-lore stuff. I want to just handle some stuff real quick.
So is Seacox like 400 years old? 'Cause they're all separated by hundreds of years.
No. The first one was the second one was 15 years after the first one, and this was 50 years after the second one.
He's
In his
plus
80s.
65
Yeah.
in his 80s. Okay.
He's an old dude, but he might be part elf, so.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying to find these statistics.
We're hoping.
Our team this year raised $1,591,
Woo!
which is pretty great. I can't find the numbers next to them right this minute, so I don't know if we beat both of the last years. But that feels pretty solid.
Yes, big.
As of right now, we are the 731st top team of fundraising overall.
That's pretty good.
And during most of the stream, we were floating around in the top 5 D&D streams. So I think all things considered, this was a hell of a success.
Yes.
Yeah. Does anybody want to say anything before we wrap up and go offline?
Well, I was only here for the boss fight, but so I did miss most of the story, but I feel like this was a very excellent campaign, and I'm glad I got to bash the shit out of the boss I wasn't supposed to bash as much as I did with the magical folding chair.
Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment, Eli, despite how backhanded that comment usually is.
All right, well, laddies. I seriously need a shower.
Same.
Tune in next year for my daughter to take up the hammer. I've earned a retirement.
All right, everybody. I will see you soon.
Yep, get some sleep, bud.
Adios.
Bye.
Adios, gentlemen.
Bye, Twitch chat.
Hi, everyone.
The time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so